The Smithsonian Castle has been closed to the public since February 2023. It is undergoing its first major modernization in over 50 years. However, the castle is temporarily reopened to the public from Memorial Day through Labor Day 2026, offering a visitor center, a cafe, shops. I took the opportunity to visit the building with its exhibitions and re-familiarize myself with its history. This video shares my experience. Completed in 1855, the Smithsonian Castle is the oldest building on the National Mall and the symbolic heart of the institution. Designed by architect James Redwick Jr. in a medieval Norman Revival style. It originally housed all the museum exhibits, laboratories, and living quarters for the Smithsonian First Secretary. The castle was completed using a distinctive Seneca red limestone from Maryland. It stood isolated from downtown Washington, D.C. by a canal, anchoring what would become the National Mall. The castle has withstood devastating fires in 1865 that destroyed the upper stories and several towers, and sustained damage from a 5.8 magnitude earthquake in 2011. The castle and the Arts and Industries Building, which opened in 1881, were the first homes of the National Museum and together form the Smithsonian's historic core. Today, it serves as the Smithsonian's administrative headquarters. A noteworthy feature near is the crypt of James Smithson, the institution's benefactor. In 1965, the building was officially designated as a National Historic Landmark. The castle renovation is the largest historic preservation project in the Smithsonian history. Its goal includes improving building systems, restoring the exterior, reducing blast and seismic risk, and adding modern visitor center services and amenities. The work will move staff and support areas out of the castle's historic interior, returning 50% more space to the public. Public rooms will also be restored to their historic appearance. Although the renovations are still underway, the castle remains well worth a visit. Visitors enter through a partially restored Great Hall. The exhibits begin at the west end of the building in the Schmierner Hall, where a large screen immediately draws attention to a slideshow on the American aspirations. Just beyond this is the main exhibit space, which remains inspiring even though much of it is still covered for renovation and also to control the light for the exhibition. To mark the nation's 250th anniversary, the Smithsonian Castle presents American Aspirations, an exhibition featuring more than 30 treasured objects that reflect America's promise and ideals. The display explores several themes tied to those aspirations. In Pursuit of Liberty evokes the ideals of the Declaration of Independence. The display includes the writing desk of Thomas Jefferson, used while drafting the Declaration, along with a small preserved fragment of the flag that flew over Fort McHenry in Baltimore, the battle that inspired Francis Scott Key to write the national anthem. In Pursuit of New Horizons features objects tied to exploration and achievement, including a fragment from Plymouth Rock from the Pilgrims of 1620 landing, Amelia Earhart's flight suit, and a uniformed Sally Ride rode aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger. In Pursuit of Fairness highlights examples of Americans' ongoing struggle with equality. The displays include a treaty with the 6 Native American nations and the U.S. government, and Harriet Tubman's personal hymnal and prayer book. In Pursuit of Democracy focuses on the expansion of the voting of the privilege held by a few to the rights shared by many. It also notes one of the early republic's major achievements, the peaceful transition of power from George Washington to John Adams. On display is a candle stand Washington used while writing his farewell address. In Pursuit of Hope centers on American symbols and icons that have offered strength during the national, global, and personal hardship, inspiring resilience for millions. The displays include the microphone used by Roosevelt Fireside Chat, and in a glass case, a model of the Statue of Liberty designed by Frederick August Bertolli and presented to the U.S. Capitol in 1884. Its much larger counterpart stands 305 feet tall on the Liberty Island in New York Harbor. In Pursuit of Defending Freedom honors Americans who have answered the call to defend freedom at home and abroad through courage, service, and sacrifice. A featured artifact is the Medal of Honor of Daniel K. Inouye, Japanese-American soldier who lost his arm in World War II while serving for the 442nd Regiment Combat Team, and later became the second longest serving member of the U.S. Senate. In Pursuit of Progress highlights the generation of Americans who found dignity in their work and opportunity through business, trade, and farming. From mechanized agriculture and electricity to automobiles and the digital age, the exhibition shows how entrepreneurship and ingenuity have driven innovation. Early computers and light bulbs are among the notable objects in this section. The castle and its grounds on the National Mall offer a glimpse of history and a rich offering of the beauty of the National Mall's iconic building.